seemed like a really good idea to catch up with you back from, we had that really great conversation back after the British Champs, and we talked about, I just never forget you saying about the biscuit competitions that you were doing in order to like prepare yourself for, that sense of competing and that like sense of nerves, and obviously you had a like really bad champs, and then you had that fantastic week just like 1 week later at Lee Valley. You did really, really well. And then of course in the under 20s European champs, it's just such an achievement to even get there, let alone, I think there were 3 of you that went out, weren't there, for the discus, which is just brilliant to see, like 3 young British women at the European champs for the discus. It's really, really good. And I guess I just was interested to hear from you firsthand how it went, and like I guess the comparison to your very first European, your very first international, like at that really top level, and find out how you found it, and and congratulate you as well.
Thank you. I mean, it was, I'm not gonna lie, it was a mixed bag of experiences, because obviously I went into it thinking no expectations, nothing like this. I think I went in ranked 15th overall, so I wasn't even expecting to make the final, and went into it, had a reasonably all right warm-up throws and first throw in the qualifying round, and obviously I was in the later group as well, so that was the weight as well building up to it was intense. And then came second round, managed to work stuff out that wasn't going right, and threw a 48, which was really pleased with. And then just said, my dad said to me beforehand, like, do your first one, get it in, don't walk out on it. So I did. Do your second one, you just replicate it or change what you got to do, and then third one, just smash it. And Stuart said it to me as well, and just went for it, and obviously it got me into the final, ranked 11th at that point. I went into the second day and didn't have my best comp. Obviously some things just weren't working out, and I think I was a bit all over the place, because I was like not expecting to make the final, and I haven't really done 2-day competitions like for a while, so getting into my physical mentality and everything like that was just all over the place. So I was a bit, for a first experience of doing a qualifier then a final, was quite a big learning curve, and also just being up against so many powerhouses at that competition was a big learning experience. I mean, I've thrown against like Jade Belly and Kirsty Law and Shadeen Dakewomen before, but having people your own age throwing those sorts of distances as well was a big eye opener as well. It just gave me a first taste of my like international experiences. So yeah, very, very, like, it was definitely a learning experience, but I'm very grateful that I got selected for it to actually do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a huge it's like a massive achievement in itself, as we said before. So because you were like on your in the finals, you were 6 meters down on your qualifying round. So was that just nerves? Was it that, because I totally get what you're saying, you were expecting to do just the qualifiers and be really happy with that performance, and then the finals was just like a surprise that you weren't ready for, so psychologically you then had to completely shift your you were expecting a day off and suddenly you were competing again, and so sort of what was that like, a little bit more detail I suppose about what that was like.
I mean, it was definitely a big thing that I went into it actually being in the final, but also at the same time it was like, it almost didn't feel like I was in a final, it just felt like another competition. But I think I obviously hit the cage in the first round, it just threw me off a bit, and I obviously tried to go into the second throw, trying to fix it, and then it didn't go correctly, and then third round I tried way too hard to try and I tried to beast it, which is what me, Stuart and my dad called it, when I just try to really hard to throw it as far as I can. and technique went straight out the window in some cases. Although Stu was saying that my technique was all right, but
You think he was being kind to you?
I don't know. I think he was actually being honest, because I looked back at the videos and they seem to be all right. But I think at the time it was just a mix of the nerves trying to get into me, that I was in the final and it was my first GB vest and everything like that, and I was trying to do as well as I could for GB. And then also the mix of it was, I was just trying too hard. I was trying to one up myself from what I did the day before, trying to beat that. And I've known from previous experiences throughout this year especially, that the more I try to do something, the less it works. So the more pressure I put on myself to do something, the worse my performance usually is. And that's what happened on the Thursday, is that I didn't try to do anything, just do what I normally know how to do, and obviously that works. So yeah, it's a bit of a thing that I know where my mentality is and what works for me and what really doesn't work for me now.
Yeah, and that's really important, right? I mean, so did you discuss this? Because obviously there was Samantha Callaway and Zara Van McKinnon were both there as well. So was it like a bit of a, were you, obviously Samantha was in the finals and Zara wasn't, but were you sort of, supporting each other there? Like, did they have similar experiences to you? Obviously Zara didn't make the finals, but, was that something that you shared, or did you really find that actually, your experience is so different to the experience of the other athletes, and that really it's the personal journey that you need to find and your solution, or were there shared experiences?
I mean, I can't really speak on that much about Zara and Sam, because I'm not really sure how they completely found it, but
of course,
I think one thing that we all had in common was that we just, especially me and Sam in the final, and I think Zara in the qualifiers, that we may have just tried too hard to try and hit those distances, and it was just not complete. It wasn't completely our day at that point, because I mean, I know both me and Sam really haven't done a qualifier than a final before, so that was a learning experience for the both of us. But yeah, I think a lot of this is definitely individual, because I've seen throughout the other athletes who were there as well that each of them had their own different take on it, and learned different things from that experience as well. So yeah, I mean, it's all going to be individual learning experiences for all of us, but as a team you can learn different things from different people as well, of how they cope with things. Because the 400 meter runner that we had, he went straight into it with full confidence. He said, I'm going to win this, I'm going to do this and that, and I mean, he did win it, and he won the 4x4 relay as well. So you learn different things from different people, and you learn how different things work as well, but you also learn things about yourself when you're in that situation, which is quite a big eye-opener.
So what was your biggest learning then?
It was mainly, I spoke to my dad about this afterwards, it was just, the more I've learned this before as well, and I think it was just a bit more of a big thing for me, that as soon as I don't really think about it, I don't set myself any expectations, don't try to go for the distances, that I do what I'm meant to do. I do I get into it better, because I know that when I threw my PB back in when was it, May? No, it was April. But I was just completely relaxed. I just trusted what I knew how to do, and just trusted that the work that I put in for those several months of really hard work that Stu put me through, that they paid off. And I think the same thing happened this time as well, that I just trusted that I knew what I was doing. I trusted, especially after that 42 meter throw that I did in the first throw of my qualifier, that I trusted I knew what I was doing throughout the training I had at Loughborough and everything like that, and it just happened. And then as soon as I tried to trust something else, try to trust my physicality and the strength I put behind it, that it just didn't work out right.
So something about sort of relaxing into it and focusing on what you're doing rather than what you're trying to achieve, like what the outcome's going to be.
Yeah.
It's interesting. So how different did it feel to the British Champs? Because obviously the British Champs was a first. This was a first. Had you learnt from the British Champs? Had that helped you in this experience?
I mean, from the first British Champs, I definitely learned about the cameras, because and the announcers as well. Because obviously the announcers was a big thing. Not doing that for a few years after English schools, you don't usually get that amount. You don't get that amount of noise and everything. And then having the cameras around was a big thing. And then doing the second British Champs, having that helped a lot. And I think I went into the Euros, and it just felt the same as British Champs almost. There were slight differences with the way they did the call ups and everything for your throw, but it was all about the same sort of thing. And I just went into it thinking that this is just another competition I've done in Britain before, and it's just the same sort of thing.
So that familiarity was really useful then.
Yeah, so that learning experience with British Champs, both of them really, really helped this time. Just because it's another high level competition, and just with a lot more countries involved.
Yeah, but it's still at that sort of, as you say, the elite level, and also the humdrum that goes around the atmosphere of those events is very different to like a county level event or whatever it might be.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So yeah, that's great. So what's next?
I've still got 2 NAL competitions left, and I've got the ETC comp in September, so looking forward to doing those. I'm just taking a bit of a break at the minute because I've been doing so many comps that I need a bit of a chill out from athletics, and we're just gonna keep doing what we're doing, fixing the things that need to be fixed, and if there are more comps that I can do, I might try and do them. But I mean, Euros was the big thing that I had to do this year, so anything else will be a bonus. Hopefully get another PB, but if not, we'll go back into winter, and Stu will put me through my paces. He's already said about it. So
yeah, and with a bit of luck, we'll see you at the Europeans in 2022 again. Because you have another year at the. Do you have another year at the under-20s, or are you up into?
No, this is my last year under-20s, so I'll be under-23s next year.
So so moving up another level. So yeah. Well, that's absolutely fantastic. And so what was the best bit of the whole experience? What was that I don't know, that feeling, that spark, that it might have been just walking into the stadium, or it might have been the actual throwing, or it might have been sort of afterwards, or what's like that memory that's going to really sit with you?
I think it's going to be, obviously the last throw happened, and then I was really unsure because I was I think I was third going into the circle in that third round. There was still another 9 girls after me to throw. I think it was after I finished the final and spoke to Stu that I just said, am I in the final tomorrow or not? He was just like, yeah, you are. I was like, oh, okay. I think it was that moment of realization that I'd exceeded what I thought I was going to do, and the whole call with my dad as well afterwards, and just him him saying how proud he was of me to get into the final, that just really set it off, and made it even more special as well.
Yeah. You know what, that's really lovely to hear, because so often everything's sort of judged against sort of external placements or results and things, but actually you went to the Europeans. Well, firstly, when we spoke 9 months ago, your target was to get selected for the Europeans. So you clearly achieved that target, and then your target was to go, and obviously you were placed ranked 15th, so you just wanted to do a good showing, and actually to exceed your own goals is the whole point, isn't it? and to like meet and exceed your goals. And it is completely irrelevant effectively what anybody else in that competition has done. The point is that you performed absolutely, you know, to the top of where you wanted to perform in yourself, and that you know, it's just really great to be able to hold on to that as a goal, because I think there's too much pressure sometimes in society to, you know, maybe for young athletes perhaps to sort of like, oh, you're going to go to English schools and you're going to rank third, or you're going to go to this competition and you're going to throw this distance, or, you know, and it's all like external measures of as, you know, skill, performance, ability, whatever it might be. And I think, I don't know, it's that sort of inner challenge and inner battle, isn't it, which is actually the one that matters.
Yeah, like the stuff you were speaking about, like you're going into English schools thinking you're gonna rank third or something. I've learned that experience many times, because I've my last English schools, I was ranked third in the country at the time, and I came out fifth because I tried too hard to throw what I thought I was capable, what I thought I needed to throw. I thought I needed to throw another PB, because I threw a PB, like a massive PB the year before, and going in, like, especially those learning experiences, you realise that you can't, especially with discus, you can't really try too hard. You've just got to let it happen. You've just got to relax, and you try to relax and everything, but until you're actually completely calm and you accept the fact that I don't know what's going to happen with this comp, it could be anything could happen, because I've seen some comps where it just completely rains down and you may not throw it, and then people don't throw their best that day. But you just got to accept what it is, learn from it, and then just do those things, just learn from those experiences. And I think this comp especially, that you realise that you can't, the external factors of trying to do this, trying to do that, it's just not always going to work. I mean, it may work for some people. They may say, oh, I'm going to throw 48 today, and they throw 48, but then I've seen a lot of people that they don't expect what's going to happen. They just let it happen. They throw a PP on the next throw. So it's external factors aren't always the best, but I know in the past bribery has worked with me as well. my parents have bribed me a couple of times to do well. That it differs. It definitely differs, but it's the way that you deal with it that is the thing that matters, I think, as well.
Yeah, and each of us has a unique personality, and we sort of driven in different ways, don't we? And it's about tapping into our own triggers and what works for us. That's fantastic. Well, I certainly think it's a huge achievement and really good to be, you know, something to be really proud of. And it, as I said at the beginning, it was lovely to see, you know, not just in the discus, there was some fantastic representation across the board. And I don't know, it just sort of feels like there's a bit of an uptick in athletics at the moment. Some of the quality of the young people that we've got coming through, and obviously we've got the most amazing team going to Tokyo, like now. It just really feels like, you know, maybe we're coming into another period of, you know, UK athletics upswing. I
definitely agree, because I mean, the amount we've had 8 throwers at the European Championships, and I think we've got there's 3 or 4 throwers at the Olympics at the minute, and I really haven't seen that many throwers, especially across. You've got the shot put, the hammer, 2 for shot put as well, and there aren't that many throwers that you normally see doing the athletics, and having more people, especially when it's live streams as well on TV, that you get more people involved, because they're seeing more of a variety of events. And I think that's pretty amazing this year, especially with all the circumstances that have happened over the last 16 months as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And we just have to hope, don't we, that, I don't know, that it just sort of lifts up the profile of the sport. Because I think sometimes in the UK, the athletics has got a slightly lower profile than, say, I think in Germany, it's one of the main, like after football, it's like the main supported sport. Whereas obviously, of course, I don't know where it would place in the UK, but I certainly wouldn't say that it's the number 2 most popular sport after football.
Let's say after football and rugby, I think athletics is somewhere in the mix, but it's definitely not seen as much as you like, live streamed as much as you would think athletics and rugby are. So no, football and rugby, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's sort of underrepresented in the headlines, isn't it? Which hopefully, as you say, getting that really, really excellent cohort of British participants in these like major internationals just helps to sort of pick up that profile. So
definitely,
yeah. So who are you watching at the Olympics then? What events and which athletes are you particularly interested in?
I mean, definitely Taylor Campbell in the hammer, Scott Lincoln and Sophie Heather in the shot, because I mean they've just really done well this year, especially with their PBs, and probably watch a bit of the high jump pole vault as well, because they're just fun to watch as well. And I know Emily Borthwick, who can like trained at Loughborough, she's going to the Olympics this year for her first Olympics, and Harry Copel in the pole vault as well, his first Olympics, and obviously Holly Bradshaw as well in the pole vault. She's just amazing to watch, especially when she's training in Loughborough as well. But I mean, all the events are brilliant, so yeah, definitely watching the athletics for sure, but those events will be pretty good to watch.
Yeah, we'll definitely be tuning in as well. That's really cool. Well, so thank you so much for your time. It's a pleasure to speak to you, and hopefully maybe we'll be able to catch up again in a few months and see what your next follow your progress and see how you get on, because I just hope it's also useful for people to sort of see a young athlete sort of making those landmark journeys, and just a little bit of inspiration and maybe some tips for everybody. So
thank you for like talking to me again. It's amazing to have these sorts of things, just reflecting on what's happened since the last interview as well.
Yeah, because it's been an eventful 6 months, isn't it? So
yeah, it definitely has.
It's fantastic. Well, thank you so much, and we'll see you in person at the ETC festival in the beginning of September, because we're going to be there as well, so it'll be really nice to actually meet you
it'd be great.
as a person rather than on a screen. So